Saturday's first video for you. Congratulations to all Muslims celebrating Eid al-Adha in Ethiopia, Eritrea, Sudan, Somalia, Somaliland, Djibouti and other neighboring countries. First news story is about Eid al-Adha gatherings in Tigray as well. Muslims prayed, and after that Haji Muhammad Kase, who is head of Tigray Islamic Affairs Supreme Council, released a statement. Second news story is from Sri Lanka, where tens of thousands of protesters have stormed presidential residence. President has fled his residence. For some months, economic crisis has been worsening in Sri Lanka, and today in Colombo, Sri Lanka's capital, thousands of protesters surrounded presidential palace. We have some videos for you. Third news story is about US military presence in Somaliland. It seems that US forces have taken control of Berbera airport, not port, Berbera airport. A news source claims that dozens of US military aircrafts have landed at Berbera airport. Berbera airport security has been taken over by US forces. What is US doing at Berbera airport of Somaliland? Fourthly, we have a new story from Somalia. An armed group a few hours ago released a statement against Hassan Sheikh Mahmud's government. Hassan Sheikh is the new president of Somalia, and a few days ago, 3 days ago, he was in Turkey. When he was in Turkey, he spoke against cash flow out of Somalia. He said that armed groups operating in Somalia were funding armed groups operating in other countries of Africa. And today, this armed group based in Somalia responded to Hassan Sheikh Mahmud's government. And lastly, very important news story was 4 years ago, on the 9th of July, Ethiopia and Eritrea normalized their relations. They restored diplomatic ties. A new era of friendly ties started. But after that, in November 2020, Tigray conflict erupted. Tens of thousands have died so far. Eritrean government has released a statement. Today is the 9th of July. So that is why Eritrean government today released a statement about the agreement signed 4 years ago. And Antony Blinken, US Secretary of State, also spoke a few hours ago about the landmark peace agreement signed by Isaias Afwerki and PM Abiy of Ethiopia 4 years ago. Firstly, viewers, Eid al-Adha again. Congratulations to all Muslims celebrating this religious festival in Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, Somaliland, Sudan, and Djibouti. All religious gatherings of Eid prayers have almost ended, and no reports of any unpleasant incident so far. We have been monitoring Eid gatherings across the Horn of Africa. We have some pictures for you from Ethiopia. You can see pictures on your screen from Ethiopia. From Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mahmud's government congratulated Muslims. Eritrea as well. You can see a picture from Eritrea. In Sudan, Djibouti, Somaliland as well. There were peaceful Eid prayer gatherings. In Tigray, Eid prayer was offered, and after this prayer, Tigray Islamic Affairs Supreme Council chairman released a statement. His name is Haji Muhammad Qase. Haji Muhammad Qase said there is no holiday in Tigray. There is no celebration in Tigray because people are finding it difficult to make both ends meet. They don't have food to eat. International community is not calling the genocide a genocide which happened in Tigray. He said that thousands have been killed in Tigray and people are going through a very hard time in Tigray. Lastly, very important point, he said, we support the peace position taken by Tigray government. So Tigray Islamic Affairs Supreme Council is standing with TPLF-led Tigray government, that it is in support of peace talks. That is what peace position means. It's in alliance, it's on the same page with Tigray government. It's not towing the line of opposition parties which are questioning the peace position taken by Tigray government. Overall, peaceful gatherings of Eid prayers were held in Tigray too. Second news from Sri Lanka, viewers, a country in South Asia, a small country in the grip of economic crisis for months, and today thousands of angry Sri Lankans stormed presidential residence in Colombo, Sri Lanka's capital. We know that for months economic crisis has been worsening in Sri Lanka. There is shortage of everything in Sri Lanka, viewers, these days. There is shortage of fuel, shortage of food items, shortage of medicines. Inflation has risen by 70%. People have been storming government offices. They have been beating ministers in public. And people say this crisis is not a global crisis. It's not linked to global developments. It is because of misgovernance, corruption, poor governance of Sri Lankan government. President of Sri Lanka, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, has fled presidential palace, and the PM has convened an emergency meeting. Sri Lankan PM Vikre Messinge was appointed in May, just around a month ago, and he is a political rival of the president. So he is a new appointee. Mainly, President Rajapaksa has been in power since 2019. People have been demanding resignation of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who is president of Sri Lanka, but he has been resisting the calls for resignation, and today thousands stormed his palace and he has fled the palace. Now, emergency meeting is being convened. Let's see what happens. I'll update you in coming videos. Watch these two clips showing how tens of thousands, if not millions, have stormed residential palace in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Thirdly, viewers, very important news story. It seems the United States of America, USA, is building an airbase in Somaliland. In March, Somaliland's President Musi Abdi visited the US at the invitation of Heritage Foundation. And reportedly, he offered Berbera port and an airbase to US government in return for US recognizing Somaliland as a country. Somaliland is a self-declared country. And after that, we saw that in May, US Africa Command General Stephen Townsend and other US officials, they visited Somaliland. They visited Berbera airport too. And a week after this visit, Stephen Townsend visited Somalia. He met with Hassan Sheikh Mahmud. And after Somaliland's visit, US Africa Command, AFRICOM, released a statement that the visit was linked to routine assessments being done by US military regarding potential air bases, military bases. So back then it was being said that US could establish an air base in Somaliland. US has a military base in Djibouti, but Djibouti is full of foreign naval and military bases. In Djibouti, there are military bases of France, UK, USA, Germany, Spain, Saudi Arabia, and some other countries too. And these bases are very close to each other. So it seems that US wants to move out of Djibouti. It wants to settle in Somaliland because this week dozens of US military aircrafts have been seen landing at Berbera airport. It has been confirmed that these aircrafts were carrying hundreds of foreign workers who have started their work. Mostly Indian and other workers have arrived at Berbera airport, and these workers are known for building US military bases abroad, and some flights carrying military equipment and other equipment have also landed at Berbera airport of Somaliland. Berbera airport has been closed. Its security has been taken over by US forces. The Somaliland officials and some UAE officials, they have been sent on holidays who are working on Berbera airport. So airport is now under full control of US forces which are building new shelters there. So it seems that Somaliland and US governments have reached an agreement. Somaliland is going to build a base at Berbera airport. It will use Berbera airport as US air base. No official confirmation, no statement from Somaliland government or US government, but no denial as well that at this point of time, when I'm recording this video, US security forces have taken over Berbera airport in Somaliland. I think US forces will use Berbera port too. Berbera port is owned by DP World of UAE, Somaliland, and there are conflicting reports about Ethiopian shares as well. Ethiopia announced in 2018 that it had 19% share in Berbera, but later it was revealed that Ethiopia failed to commit its financial investment and it was removed from this project. But Ethiopia has been trying to revive its shares in Berbera. So US will not own Berbera port, but US will use Berbera port. US is mainly working to have an air base at Berbera airport of Somaliland. Next story is from Somalia, viewers, where an armed group released a statement against Hassan Sheikh Mahmud's government. Hassan Sheikh Mahmud, new president of Somalia, elected in May, 3 days ago in Turkey, leveled allegations against armed groups operating in Somalia. He said armed groups operating in Somalia were funding extremist groups operating in Nigeria, in Mozambique, and part of the money raised in Somalia is going to Al Qaeda as well. Now, Abu Ubaida is a leader of Al-Shabaab, and he released an audio message a few hours ago. Firstly, he vowed to fight Hassan Sheikh Mahmud's government. He said this is government of apostates and it's un-Islamic. The group will fight the government. Secondly, Al-Shabaab has rejected the rumors, the claims of Hassan Sheikh Mahmud that this armed group is funding other armed groups abroad in Nigeria and Mozambique. Al-Shabaab is in control of around 1/3 of Somalia. It is a state within a state. Hassan Sheikh a few days ago in Turkey said that Somalia would not talk to this armed group. Somalia is not in a position to talk to the group. So it seems that Somalia, with the help of US Special Forces newly deployed and with the help of neighboring countries, will continue military operations against the armed group operating in parts of Somalia. Lastly, there was very important news stories about Ethiopia Eritrea normalization agreement signed 4 years ago on the 9th of July 2018. Today is the 9th of July. That is why today we saw two statements, one by Eritrean Ministry of Information, second by Antony Blinken, US Secretary of State. What did Antony Blinken, US Secretary of State, say? Antony Blinken said that 4 years ago, on the 9th of July 2018, Ethiopia and Eritrea normalized relations. But unfortunately, a new war broke out and thousands have been killed in this conflict. There is need of respect for sovereignty, territorial integrity, and peaceful solution to conflicts for stability and peace in the Horn of Africa. Eritrean government released a detailed statement. Eritrean government says that when in 2018 a peace deal was signed by the name of a Declaration of Peace and Friendship between Ethiopian and Eritrean governments, it was signed without any external mediation. The two governments, the two nations realized that they should start a new era of peace, prosperity, and security in the Horn of Africa. That is why the two leaders met in Asmara. Peace agreement was signed, and there were 5 main points of the peace agreement. Firstly, end to the state of war between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Secondly, decisions of 2002 boundary commission to be implemented unconditionally. Thirdly, resumption of diplomatic ties and resumption of communication, trade and transport links. Fourthly, cooperation, partnership in all fields of development. And lastly, a pledge to work together for peace and stability in the Horn of Africa. So there were 5 main points. Eritrean government claims that TPLF and some forces were not happy with this agreement, and from day one they started their conspiracies, and ultimately a war broke out in northern Ethiopia, and this group TPLF suffered heavy losses. Though the group has suffered major setbacks, but still it is trying, and its sympathizers, its supporters are trying to resuscitate it through humanitarian aid, through human rights violation accusations. This group is being propped up by some external players. That is why Ethiopian and Eritrean governments and Ethiopian and Eritrean people should overcome the conspiracies of these groups, TPLF and other forces in this region, Horn of Africa. So we can say that Eritrea is accusing TPLF that it undermined peace efforts of Ethiopian and Eritrean governments. and this attempt is still ongoing. TPLF has not learnt any lesson from the destruction and the devastation caused by Tigray conflict. We'll update you if Tigray issues a statement about this agreement signed in 2018. Thank you for watching.